this crash course session for current affairs. We will be dealing with, हम वो सारे subjects पढ़ेंगे, वो सारे topics पढ़ेंगे which is the most important, which I anticipate that can come in the paper. Okay, and definitely you will see that at least 3 to 4 questions will be there in next 5 classes, which you can see in your prelims. Okay, this is what I can assure. All right. Okay, to start with, now generally I do not use PPTs very often. Okay, like many of you have seen me teaching different subjects. I never use PPT that much, but current affair is a subject where you have so much information that you require a PPT. Okay, so don't worry about writing many things, because I will share this PDF with you. You will get this PDF uploaded. All what at max you can do is make this class interactive. I will be asking some questions, you respond, and then even if you feel like some important points I will highlight, you can note them then and there itself, or you can take some running notes. All right. So let us start with our first topic, the 18th G20. Focus on which summit India hosted. It is the 18th summit that took place. India was the presiding chair. That means we hosted this summit this year. So can you give me a very quick brush up about what do you mean by this G20? That is very obvious. This is group of 20 nations. What else? Elaborate. What is so special about these 20 nations? Chalo, they do not have headquarter. Wherever the summit is happening, that becomes the secretariat for that year. What else? There is no headquarter. इस साल का इंडिया है. Next year? Yes. Next year is Brazil, and we have taken the seat from Indonesia. Do you know that these 3 countries also known as Troika? What is so special about Troika? That's okay. Troika includes the country that has hosted the summit in previous year, current year, and the upcoming next year. But what is the significance? Troika का काम क्या है? जैसे India will be part of Troika next year as well. Yes or no? So what is the significance of Troika? All the agendas in G20 will be decided by the Troika. Whatever you have to discuss, like all the G20 countries will discuss what the Troika is suggesting. So if India is hosting the summit, what do you think will be the agendas of India? Very quickly tell me. किन agendas पर India बात करेगा? पूरे world को address करेगा? Environment पे करेगा? What else? अच्छा, everyone is comfortable with a little bit of Hindi? Everyone? Okay. Largely I'll speak in English, but if there is a need, I'll use a bit of Hindi as well. Yeah, tell me. Terrorism, counter-terrorism, this is the biggest thing that we will raise. Environment we will raise. What else?
Regarding current situations like Ukraine and Palestine.
Okay. By that time, when this G20 took place, when was the annual summit for G20 took place? Any idea which month? It was in September. So by this time there was no Israel-Palestine conflict that erupted. There was only one Russia-Ukraine war that was going on. However, you know the game. India is making a balance. Rather we can say that we are more inclined towards which nation? Russia rather than Ukraine. However, we are still playing our role as a global mediator. Okay. So we never let the Western countries to use G20 platform as a forum to talk about Russia-Ukraine war. We never allowed that. How I can back this? Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, wanted to come as a guest speaker in G20, but we denied. And we know that when the global powers are coming, everyone will put attention on India. So the Russian president also missed this summit. All right. So these are some backgrounds. Okay, let us one by one discuss what are the key highlights. By the way, you haven't told me about some of the characteristics of G20 group. Like why G20 is important? Why these 20 nations is important?
These are mostly developed and emerging nations discussing about economic situations.
ठीक है, these are some developing nations, but what is their importance? The importance is these, yeah? Major land, no. These 20 countries, they presently hold 80% of global trade, around 80%, 85% of global economy is controlled by them, and almost 70% of the global population resides in these 20 nations. So any decision taken by these 20 nations, don't you think it can impact majority of the globe? And by the way, this G20 is not G20 anymore, it has become G21. Can you tell me how this one comes in? Yes, India has invited your African Union as a new member of G20. Earlier, only one nation represented all of African continent. Which was that one nation in G20? South Africa. Other than that, no nation was representing G20 from Africa. Now, do you think that it is equal? And then there is also a debate going on in the world, the debate between the global south and the global north. Very recently held Global South Summit. Have you heard about this? Add this as homework. Read about Global South Summit. अभी हाल ही में हुआ था. And it is the third such summit that has ever happened. And do you know this, that India is one of the leaders of Global South? I hope everyone knows what is a Global South, Global North, the differentiation. Everyone knows this? Okay. So Global South represents a group of all developing nations. Global North represents the group of all developed nations. So developing versus developed, everywhere they are fighting. They are standing together as blocks, as groups. So to make G20 more equitable, we invited African Union. However, let us see some introduction about G20. 18th G20 summit held in New Delhi. Dates were 9th and 10th September. It was the first time we hosted such summit. The theme was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. These type of things are important for prelims, okay? G20 leaders signed a New Delhi declaration that achieved unanimous consensus addressing the diverse issue. Now this is also very unique. See, any such summit that takes place, they conclude with a conclusive draft. What were the agendas and what all parties have agreed to? क्या क्या सबने agree करा? New Delhi Declaration was the first time in any G20 summit which was agreed by all the parties. ऐसा पहले कभी नहीं हुआ. This was something very unique that has happened. So you can say that it is something a win-win situation for our Indian diplomacy. Yes or no? Indian diplomacy has won here. So you can put this as an argument anywhere if you want to write some meritorious point about Indian diplomacy. Okay? So New Delhi Declaration. Now it is in itself is very difficult to put some agendas on which the world agrees. ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा इशू है, वरना do you find Russia, US and their supporting countries agreeing to some points? Like we also have some bitter relation countries in G20 like China. Making China signing to what we believe in is also very difficult. In all international forums, China always stands against us. So this is something very unique. Then sustainable development, food security, launching global biofuel alliance. We are coming to all of them one by one. So the first important aspect which I have already discussed, admitting African Union, G20 has now become G21. The G20 leaders have agreed to admit African Union as permanent members of G20, which is a major step towards increasing the representation of developing countries in the forum. The impact of this inclusion will be, it will offer the opportunity to reshape the global trade and finance investment that would provide greater voice to the global south with G20. Can you guys very quickly tell me why everyone all of a sudden is interested in Africa? Minerals तो और भी जगह है, but why all of a sudden Africa from past 4-5 years? China को देख लो, they are bringing investments there. India is interested, America is interested. If you remember that controversy, Russia ka, there was a military coup attempt in Russia. What was that? Wagner Group. Wagner Group is the biggest private firm which is active in Africa, supporting different blocks within the countries of Africa. बहुत सारे military coups भी हुए हैं in 2023 in Africa. And what is the main reason behind it? All these confrontation. So resources तो हैं, but the biggest issue why Africa has in limelight, Africa has the highest number of untapped resources. इसके अलावा जहां पर भी resources थे वो सब almost extract करने शुरू कर चुके हैं हम. It is a continent where most of the resources are untapped. All right. So the impact will be that this membership will offer opportunity to reshape the global trade, finance, investment, and it would provide greater voice for global south within G20. It allows African interest and perspective to be heard and recognized within G20. Simple. Coming to the next part, very important, very important, I believe, for this year. Global Biofuel Alliance. This is the fourth biggest alliance which is India oriented, launched at international level. Are you understanding this? For example, the biggest alliance that has turned into an international organization, the first such attempt was made in 2014. हाँ जी, पता नहीं है आपको? तो फिर आ कैसे गए जब पता नहीं है? मेरी तो 1:30 बजे क्लास होती है, उसका नहीं है. अच्छा. So, weren't you guys informed about the timing of this? ऑनलाइन में अपलोड किया गया है और नोटिस बोर्ड पे 2 दिन पहले चेंज हुआ है. अच्छा, वो पोर्टल चलता नहीं है. डोंट वरी, आई विल रेज दिस इशू विद द मैनेजमेंट. एक बार सबको इन्फॉर्म कर देना आप लोग भी कि भाई करंट अफेयर की क्लासेस इज एट दिस टाइम. एक्चुअली व्हाई दिस टाइम? बिकॉज आई एम ऑलरेडी टेकिंग सम बैच एट मुखर्जी नगर. ठीक है, श्रीराम IAS मुखर्जी नगर. आई हैव टू टेक सम बैचेस देयर, सो दैट इज व्हाई द टाइमिंग्स हैव बीन शिफ्टेड. ठीक है, अभी बस शुरू ही करा है, ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है, ज्योग्राफी ऐसे PDF में कभी पढ़ाया था, याद नहीं है आपको? एनीवेज, हाँ जी. सो आई वॉज टॉकिंग अबाउट, इट इज द फोर्थ सच ग्लोबल इनिशिएटिव दैट इज लॉन्च्ड बाय इंडिया. फर्स्ट वॉज इन 2015 एंड आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू नो दैट. International Solar Alliance. Everyone know what is this, how it is operating? It is all over in news. The second alliance that was formed, which was India led, was 2019. CDRI. फुल फॉर्म एनीवन? कोलिशन फॉर डिजास्टर रेजिलिएंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, सुना है इसके बारे में? वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। नहीं सुना तो प्लीज ऐड दिस एज योर लिस्ट ऑफ होमवर्क। रीड अबाउट CDRI, कोलिशन फॉर डिजास्टर रेजिलिएंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। अनदर इनिशिएटिव दैट वी लॉन्च्ड इन 2023, इनफैक्ट वी लॉन्च 2 इनिशिएटिव। एक तो आपके सामने है ग्लोबल बायोफ्यूल अलायंस। आई एम कमिंग टू GBA. व्हाट इज वन मोर इनिशिएटिव दैट वी लॉन्च्ड इंटरनेशनली? मिलेट्स। मिलेट्स की बात करेंगे G20 में। Anyone with the full form? इंटरनेशनल बिग कैट अलायंस, सुना है? क्या है? प्लीज एलैबोरेट। Under this, we will conserve, or we will start an initiative to conserve all big 7 cats in their respective ecosystem. What are those big 7 cats? Tiger, lion, cheetah, leopard, cougar, puma, snow leopard, jaguar. है leopard? प्लीज चेक कर लेना एक बार। 7 बिग कैट्स हैं इसके अंदर, और मेरे हिसाब से लेपर्ड है। 8 गिना दिए। टाइगर, लायन, चीता, जैगवार, पूमा, कूगर और स्नो लेपर्ड। लेपर्ड नहीं है, ठीक है। लेपर्ड की पॉपुलेशन वैसे भी ठीक है, घरों में निकल रहा है आजकल तो, ठीक है, वी ऑल नो, ठीक है। मैन ऑन मैन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में सबसे ज्यादा यही लेपर्ड ही कॉमन है। So these 7 big cats to be conserved in their respective ecosystem. This is also a India-led initiative. And the next biggest initiative that we launched was in G20. Like guys, within G20 there was multiple meetings that were happening. There were some bilateral meetings also going on. Some regional meetings also going on, like BRIC countries were meeting, regional groups were meeting, some trilateral groups were going on, some quadrilateral groups were going on, like Quad and all. So different level के engagements हो रहे थे, ठीक है। So out of that engagement, this is one thing, Global Biofuel Alliance. Very quickly, what is biofuel? What do you understand by biofuel?
जैसे स्टैंपर्स होते हैं, मतलब जो बायो प्रोडक्ट्स को फ्यूल में यूज करते हैं, जैसे पैडी के बचे हुए इथेनॉल,
Any fuel that is produced from a bio source, ठीक है। It is also different generations, first generation, second generation, third generation. Like biogas, you remember, बचपन में पढ़ा था, first generation. Second generation is your like some byproducts of some industries like sugarcane, molasses, baggies, इन सबको प्रोसेस करके you extract fuel from them. Third generation is you plant some crops that can be used as a biofuel, that can be cultivated, harvested using biofuel. Example, Jatropha. Jatropha is very famous crop, ठीक है। And the fourth and the newest generation is genetically modified organisms and crops, which largely include algae culture. तो उसके अंदर बहुत सारा algae culture करते हुए they will grow this. All right. So GBA is India-led initiative that aims to develop alliance of the governments, international organizations, industries to promote adoption of biofuels. This initiative seeks to position biofuel as a key component of energy transition, contribute to job creation, economic growth. It will help to accelerate India's existing biofuel programs such as PM Jeevan Yojana, Satat and Govardhan scheme. Add all 3 of them as your assignment. Please read about all 3 of them. Jatropha, some crops that are grown specially so that you can extract biofuel. This is how you write Jatropha. इसका साइंटिफिक नेम अलग है, ये नॉर्मल इंग्लिश नेम है. So, as per IEA, International Energy Association, there will be 3.5 to 5x biofuel growth potential by 2050 due to net zero target and creating huge opportunity for India. We all know that world is working for the net zero. This will be the game changer. All right. However, if we talk about the current potential, we have a very less potential. You can see it here. USA right now has 52% of biofuel coming here. Brazil 30% and India just 3%. However, if we talk about potential of India, it is very high. Like biofuel ये वही सब है. Have you heard of ethanol blending?
Yes, sir.
E20 petrol, E25, we are progressively increasing it to 100% कर देंगे इसको आने वाले टाइम में. फ्लेक्स फ्यूल, एनवायरमेंट एंड इकोलॉजी में पढ़ा होगा. फ्लेक्स ईवी, फ्लेक्स फ्यूल, ठीक है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स विल बी इन न्यूज. देन दिस अलायंस विल बी लॉन्च्ड बाय 9 members, important, which include India, US, Brazil, Argentina, Bangladesh, Italy, Mauritius, South Africa, UAE. These are the 9 members of GBA. अभी के लिए इन लोगों ने कहने को ग्लोबल बायोफ्यूल अलायंस है, बट इट इज स्टार्टेड बाय 9 countries एज फाउंडिंग मेंबर्स. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस वाज स्टार्टेड बाय जस्ट 2 countries, इंडिया एंड फ्रांस. राइट नाउ इट हैज मोर देन 130 countries. It is recognized as an organization by United Nations. So, importance. All right. So soon, this will become a very important alliance of future. All right. So there are 19 countries and 12 international organizations that have already agreed to join. Okay. Don't worry. Don't get bothered about writing all the facts from the slide. You will get this PPT. Later on you can work on that. Right now spend time on understanding the issue and note down some extra stuff that I am asking you to write and read about later on at home. अभी उस पे काम करना, ठीक है, वो लिखना. Then G20 invited countries for supporting GBA. Bangladesh, Singapore, Mauritius, all these countries they have supported. Then non-G20 countries that have supported GBA. These are the list. International organizations that have supported GBA are this. Not important to learn as in, but just for a reference. All right. One of the most important initiative that was launched, which I have added as a separate topic in the upcoming slide, is IMAC. Very important. Have you heard of IMAC? It was signed just after, like, do you know that why Israel was attacked on 7th October? Why this year attacks, like Israel-Palestine conflicts was on, Hamas was fighting with Israel for a very long time. Why it initiated in 23? Everything has a why, guys. One of the biggest why is IMAC. I will elaborate IMAC in a while. Just hold on for a second. इसको डिटेल से समझाऊंगा what is IMAC. I have added that because it is very important to understand all of Middle East. आपको सारा इशू समझ आ जाएगा अभी क्या चल रहा है वहां. ठीक है, अभी के लिए ये समझ लो, it is a international transport corridor that we are developing as a counter to already existing routes. What are the already existing routes? Your Suez Canal route. ठीक है, वो एक only dependent route है. The next counters are BRI, Belt and Road Initiative of China. China is doing dominance with BRI. So to counter BRI, these are some projects. इंडिया का भी एक अपना एक और प्रोजेक्ट है, similar transport corridor. Can you name that transport corridor?
Bangladesh, Myanmar.
International North-South Transport Corridor. Add this as homework. International North-South Transport Corridor. जब मैं IMEC पढ़ा लूंगा ये आपको बहुत आसानी से समझ आ जाएगा. ये तो पुराना है guys, you should know this. पढ़ा होगा आपने भी कहीं ना कहीं. Maybe could have been कि you are skipping it, but this is also very important. ठीक है. So IMEC को मैं डिटेल से समझाऊंगा आगे. अभी बात आगे करते हैं. G20 Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion. You know that India is such a country that has worked for financial inclusion at a very drastic level. Can you tell me that the schemes which Jan Dhan or Jam Trinity, right? Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile. Linking all three, don't you think have brought the financial disaster in our country in terms of positive sense? It has linked everyone to a unified setup. This is one. Then one more thing which is very well recognized all over the world and which has an Indian origin is India's digital public infrastructure. What is this India's digital public infrastructure? It is UPI, the account aggregators India is using, the online system like Aadhaar and all these things, single identity and all these things that India is using comes under digital public infrastructure. Whatever at a very large level India is giving to, at a very large level India is giving to the public. Like for example, do you remember that CoWIN portal during your COVID times? Now imagine, do you remember those speeches of P. Chidambaram when he was the finance, like he was in opposition and he was questioning the introduction of UPI based QR codes. He was questioning कि गरीब कहाँ से यूज करेगा ये सब. But you can see the transformation of technology in 10 years. Now even the beggars are using QR code. If you do not have any khulla, don't worry, transfer the money. It is happening, all right. And forget about the vegetable vendors and all these. This has become very common. Okay. Now you will look at surprise to that vegetable or to any shop owner who doesn't use QR code. You will look him with suspicion कि 2 नंबर का पैसा है इसके पास. ठीक है. So the rapid financial inclusion has seen, अच्छा, you have seen the success story of UPI. Like many countries are adopting the same system and we are helping other countries to work on the similar kind of a platform, UPI. Guys, there used to be some time when UPI was in early stage when it was very difficult, like the money was used to get stuck. But now you have a very good safety mechanisms. Even today glitches can happen, but usually that money automatically returns back and you do not have any fear of deducting any unethical money. See, cyber crimes are happening, that is something different. That is because of financial illiteracy. People are not well aware. That is a different area. But there is no flaw in UPI. And imagine how many UPI holders we have in our country. I don't think that any of us is not using UPI. We have stopped carrying cash.
Even Elon Musk praised UPI.
All those, like, this is known as UPI diplomacy of India. This is not a very small thing. Have you seen those prime ministers, presidents coming here and buying vegetables? It is not just for the fun, or they are not taking that vegetable back home. It is to showcase India's UPI diplomacy. Okay, we are using this term officially now, UPI diplomacy. Coming to this, Jan Dhan Aadhaar mobile, Jam Trinity boosted the financial inclusion from 25% to 80% within 6 years. Regulatory frameworks such as national policy, Aadhaar based verification, complement DPIs are also part of it. Then some datas, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana success. It has tripled from 2015. Right now it stands at 462 million. This is again a data which is from 1.5 year back. This has been issued by the government in this G20. Women own 56% of this account. Like this was the first condition of Jan Dhan accounts. Like most of the DBT schemes are on the name of women. So the government has given the carrot, everyone has fallen, and now at least the women of our country has a bank account on their own name. It was not the same condition when before 2000 and before this Jan Dhan was launched. Then this Jan Dhan Yojana drove the saving among the low income women, attracting over 12 million customers by April 2023. Coming to government to person payments, how government is doing the payments. There are around 361 billion transfers to the beneficiary from 53 ministries via 312 schemes. People are getting benefit, the datas are there. The total savings are about 33 billion by March 2022, evaluated to be 1.14% of the GDP. That means this much you have saved. If this money would have been circulated using the old channels, you would have costed 33 billion more money, which is 1.14% of the GDP, which is not a small amount. Then UPI dominance. By May 2023, we have witnessed these many transactions till now. 9.41 billion transactions valued at 14.89 trillion. यानी आज तक जितना भी हमने पैसा यूपीआई से करा है, that value is 14.89 trillion. It is, I guess, 5-6 times Indian economy. The total Indian economy, it is like we are somewhere around 3 trillion economy right now. So imagine, इतना पैसा हम जो 2-5 रुपए भी करें आपने, it amounts to this. करने पड़ते हैं, फोटोकॉपी वाले आजकल यही, like you go to any shop where there is a transaction of less than 10 rupees, you do not have change, he will say UPI कर दो. Alright, so then private sector efficiency. DPI has streamlined private organizations, reducing complexity, cost and time. Some NBFCs has achieved 8% higher SME lending rates, 65% savings in depreciation cost, and 66% cost reduction in fraud detection. So it is not just helping the government, but it is also saving the money for the private entities. More money these NBFCs, non-banking financial companies, will save, better credit facility they will give to the customers. Bank customers onboarding cost in India has dropped to 23 USDs to 0.1 using DPI. How do we open a bank account today? The guy will come to your place. He will just bring one tablet. Everything he will upload, your photo, documents photo, tuck, 2-3 things he will take. He will give you checkbook on the spot. He will give you on the spot. Now don't you think it has saved so much time? अपने दादाजी से पूछना कि एसबीआई में अकाउंट कैसे खुलवाया था, लाइन तो छोड़ो, किस किस से फोन करवाया था, किस किस की पहुंच लगवाई थी. और ये एसबीआई में खुलवाने की बात कर रहा हूं, इसलिए मैंने दादाजी का एग्जांपल दिया. डैड के टाइम पर भी बैंक्स बहुत खुल गए होंगे, बट स्टिल द प्रोसेस वाज वेरी कम्बरसम. You guys are seeing this happening with technology. Maybe your kids, before they can be born, they will have a bank account. Okay, so cross-border payments. UPI has now linkages, enables faster and cheaper cross-border payments with Singapore. Now this list has increased further. France is accepting UPI. UAE, yes or no? Have you seen recent UAE visit of Prime Minister? UPI was accepted in UAE, in France, and then there are, I guess, more than 16-17 countries today that accepts payments in UPI. It's a very big thing, guys. You are not realizing how big it is. Can you explain me how it is, how big it is? Like how UPI can help us internationally?
एक तो डिप्लोमेसी जो आपने बताया यूपीआई डिप्लोमेसी वाला कि प्रमोट करेगा इंडियन कल्चर को, तो आईआर रिलेशंस अच्छे बनेंगे.
वन थिंग. दूसरा क्या, ये तो मैंने खुद समझाया था, वो पूछ रहा हूं जो मैंने नहीं समझाया. हाउ इट विल बेनिफिट व्हेन वी हैव यूपीआई विद अदर कंट्रीज.
रेमिटेंसेस वगैरह भेजने में,
रेमिटेंसेस, और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट ट्रेड, settlements of transactions will happen faster, cheaper, resulting in more trade, benefit to both the countries. It is not just India is getting the benefit to both the countries.
सर तो फेक डॉलर है, जैसे फेक करेंसी होती है कि एक ही करेंसी को बार-बार घुमा रहे हैं, वैसे डॉलर भी हो सकता है फेक डॉलर इस तरीके से.
फेक डॉलर तो फेक डॉलर भी तो करेंसी है, या फेक ऑनलाइन कह रहे हो आप?
हाँ, ऑनलाइन जैसे बैंक स्टोर करके उसको लोन के रूप में दे देते हैं.
हाँ.
तो वो एक ही मनी बार-बार घूम रही है, तो कॉन्सेप्ट उसको बढ़ाते हैं कि मैं, तो वो अब ट्रेड में भी चल सकता है इसके वजह
तो चल रहा है वो. जो पैसा आप वैसे घुमा रहे थे फिजिकली, वो भी तो बैंक में ही था. ये पैसा भी तो बैंक में ही है. पैसा तो वही है जो सर्कुलेट हो रहा है. मोड चेंज हो गया है. पहले पेमेंट कैसे होती थी? पहले अर्लियर पेमेंट वाज बैंक से आपके अकाउंट में आएगा. इफ यू हैव टू सेंड सम मनी, लेट्स से टू कनाडा, you will send first the money to your branch. Your branch will send money to another branch. If the same bank has a branch in Canada, then it is still easier. But if they do not have, then they will send the money to any bank with which they have a tie-up. Then that bank will process it, and this transaction will be done through international aggregators like your Visa, Mastercard. ये सब help करेंगे financial transactions को to happen. SWIFT is a networking system of all the banks. Even that also plays a role. Then that money will be transferred to the customer's account, and then they will take out the money. आज भी इंटरनेशनल रेमिटेंसेस में इट टेक्स मोर देन 4 to 5 hours for a money to reach the other point, despite all the technologies. But UPI will make it much more faster, real time. Just like you are swiping here, ting ting, you can do that. Accounts aggregator framework, it enabled 1.13 billion accounts for data sharing with 13.46 million consents raised. Account aggregators is all those who are facilitating the transactions. Okay. Data empowerment and protection architecture provides individual to control over their data, fostering innovation and competition. Basic points. Then the next area, are you guys from the crash course batch only? Which batch? Morning, any batch? Okay, sit. Anyways, hardly make any difference. पता तो है ना क्या हो रहा है, what we are doing? Current affairs. Okay, this at least you should know. Okay. So the next major highlight of G20, guys, tripling the global renewable energy capacity by 2030. Are you aware of INDC? Do you know what are these? Indented nationally determined contributions. Do you know what targets do we have for India for 2030? Add this as homework, please, everyone. Add India's INDCs. Read about indented nationally determined contributions. पंचामृत याद आ रहा है? नेट जीरो, इंडिया विल अचीव नेट जीरो बाय 2070. We will reduce the carbon intensity by 45% from 2005 level and so on. Now this is India's target. Similarly, we have the INDCs for the world. Each country has adopted their own targets. However, all of us as a globe, as a united globe, has to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. So what all these G20 countries have agreed, they will triple the global renewable energy capacity by 2030. Okay, like India also has a target of 500 gigawatt of energy coming from renewable source. So this is one target. If this is met, G20 have promised to work towards tripling the global renewable energy capacity by 2030. If met this single step, it could avoid a carbon dioxide emission by 7 billion tons between now and 2030. We are right now standing exactly in the middle of these targets. Like INDCs came from Paris Agreement, which was signed in 2015. So 15 से लगभग नहीं, INDCs came in 2017. So 18, yeah. So like it was, the concept was introduced in 17 and then from 18 they adopted it. So from 17 till 24, 7 years, and now 24 to 30 will be the second phase of INDCs. Okay. So this is what we can do globally if we are successful in achieving tripling the renewable energy. All right. It represents a significant shift from fossil towards cleaner alternatives. Declaration acknowledges the current climate action is insufficient and highlights the need for trillions of dollars in financial resources to achieve objectives of the Paris Agreement. Expanding renewable energy capacity on this scale could avoid 7 billion tons of emissions from 2023 to 2030. This is what we are targeting globally. This is a pledge of G20 nations, okay? Do not forget that. Commitment to food security and nutrition. I hope this is also still a challenge that the world faces even today. So as a counter, India has introduced something to the world. What is that? Millets. We have also declared the year of 2023 as International Year for Millets. I hope everyone knows what is millets, nutritional value, geographical condition required for millets. This thing everyone knows. Okay? And why we are promoting this? Because if this happen, if we can promote millets, we can tackle 2-3 things. First, we can increase Indian exports. Second, we can tackle global food security, poverty, hunger. And then it is beneficial to tackle those nutritional values. Like millets has a very high nutritional value. Alright. So, the global food security and nutrition, the G20 leaders recognize the importance of addressing rising commodity prices, including food and energy prices, which contribute to cost of living pressure. Do you remember Black Grain Initiative? It was in news in 2023. Black Grain Initiative. No idea? Russia-Ukraine war? It is basically a kind of an agreement between all the parties there that despite whatever tensions happening, nobody will hinder the food supplies. That was the Black Grain Initiative. However, what has happened? Because of some miscalculations, both the countries, like Russia has also attacked some Ukrainian ships carrying food, and even Ukraine has attacked some Russian ships. So as a result, Russia has withdrawn from the Black Grain Initiative. Now what has happened? It has raised the cost of food for all of Middle East, all of other countries. And right now globally, the wheat prices and rice prices are rising. India has also put a export ban on both of them. ये बासमती राइस, बट लगाया तो है, और बासमती ही राइस ही खाया जाता है वर्ल्ड ओवर, ठीक है. एंड सो मच सो, जो सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम पता है किसे हो रही है? द इंडियन कम्युनिटी स्टेइंग अब्रॉड. यस, आई हैव सम कपल ऑफ पीपल, some friends in America, they say that we line up in the supermarkets for like 4-5 hours to get one bag of rice. And you know Indian culture, like जहाँ पे भी चले जाएं हम खाएंगे तो अपना Indian food ही, yes or no? So then this aim is to eliminate hunger, malnutrition, acknowledging the global challenges like poverty, climate change, pandemics, conflicts affect vulnerable populations, particularly women and children. G20 declaration highlights the human suffering and impacts of war, Ukraine on global food security and energy security, supply chain, inflation and economic stability. This has created the biggest hindrance. Your Israel-Palestine has added to that. Now one more problem has started, the Houthi rebellions. From past November onwards, they have started attacking any merchant ship which is passing by. This has happened for the first time. Earlier, these terrorist groups, any such militant organization, they never used to target regular ships. अब इनको जो मिल रहा है, because this company has some shares from Israel, like 2% इसमें इजरायली पैसा लगा है, पूरे शिप पर अटैक करेंगे. All 3H are supported by Iran only. Hamas, Houthis and Hezbollahs, they all target Israel. Hamas active in Palestine, Hezbollah's Lebanon, Syria border, and then these Houthis are Yemen. ठीक है? And that is why IMEC is important. I was talking about IMEC, आ रहे हैं IMEC पर. So G20 leaders called for full and timely implementation of Black Sea Grain Initiative. ये मैंने यहाँ ऐड कर ही रखा है. Okay, so Black Sea Grain Initiative. The agricultural working group during G20 presidency has reached a historic consensus on two aspects: Deccan G20 high-level principles on food security and nutrition, and Millet Initiative, which is Maharishi. What are these two? Maharishi stands for Millets and Other Ancient Grains International Research Initiative, advancing research collaboration and generating awareness about the millets. We are promoting it as part and parcel of millets, so we have put that agenda in G20 as well. Then there are 7 high-level principles on food security and nutrition, which includes humanitarian assistance, increased food production, food security net programs, climate smart approaches, inclusivity of agricultural food system, One Health approach, digitalization of agricultural sector, scaling the responsibility of public and private investment in agriculture. These are the 7 principles on which the G20 leaders have agreed. All are important, okay? Then commitment to food security, we have G20 committed to promoting transparent, fair, rule-based trade, agricultural and food and fertilizers. They pledged not to impose export restrictions. I guess AC is getting too chill. अरे तो बड़ा सेल्फिश है भाई, और भी तो लोग हैं. कर दो, कहाँ से बंद होगा? एक काम करो ना, इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हो, वहां से रिमोट ले आओ. दोबारा ऑन करना पड़ेगा तो फिर आपको तंग करेंगे. Okay, coming back to what we were discussing, guys. Okay, chalo. Everyone focus here. कहाँ पर थे हम? हाँ, G20 leader emphasize on importance of strengthening agricultural market information system and GEOGLAM, which stands for Group of Earth Observation and Global Agricultural Monitoring for greater transparency. It basically improving any kind of issues that we are having in agriculture. Can you very quickly tell me what are the global issues that we have in agriculture? हाँ, globally. Climate change or the biggest issue that we have in agricultural export import is different level of subsidies that is being given by different nations. So these two platforms are basically to make greater transparency so that a level playing field comes for everyone. Like, do you know this, that MSP is something which is the world is against on Indian MSP, and Indian farmers are against government giving more MSP. So you are understanding where India is sitting. Like very recent farmer protests that started this January, Feb. One of their key demands were withdrawing India from WTO. Batao. They are seeking to withdraw India from WTO just because WTO doesn't allow India to be kept, like abhi ke liye what they have done, they have kept countries like India under exception list, and with which we are giving the MSP to our farmers, but largely it is not allowed. Alright, so this is these systems, agricultural market information system and GEOGLAM is to make greater transparency in agriculture. So this AMIS is an interagency platform to enhance food market transparency and policy response for food security. It was launched in 2011 by G20 Ministers of Agriculture following the global food price hikes in 7, 8 till 10. GEOGLAM enhances the market and food security by providing timely transparency agricultural information worldwide. So it's a global level platform. It will mandate initially came up from the G20 Agricultural Ministers meeting during the French G20 presidency of 2011. So back then all these issues were very on, so we have kept the same thing. It is coming forward in all G20 meetings. इसमें भी carry forward कर दिया है. अच्छा, like have you guys noticed this, that G20 annual meeting is not the only meeting that happens each year. Like we started G20 meetings from January onwards. Okay. So group of agricultural ministers meeting, foreign ministers meeting, all other ministers are meeting, they are discussing all these issues only. Small arms terrorist safe havens. This is like if India is pitching in any global platform, we will talk about terrorism. This is one and the only issue that we think which is impacting the global world. The biggest issue is the definition of terrorism. A uniform definition of terrorism adopted globally. Do you know this, that we do not have such definition? Terrorism कहते किसे हैं अभी तक किसी को यही नहीं पता. Everyone is giving their own definition. So small arms and terrorist safe havens, we know that what are the places which act as a terrorist havens. So this New Delhi declaration builds upon the previous G20 declaration, which was Turkey declaration in 2015, which strongly denounced terrorism. Unlike the 2022 G20 Bali leaders declaration, which primarily focused on financing of terrorism and strengthening of FATF, the New Delhi declaration encompasses a wider range of concerns. That means इससे पहले सिर्फ फाइनेंसिंग ऑफ टेररिज्म पर बात की जाती थी. Now we also talk about the providing safe havens to terrorism, taking actions on those countries who are giving havens to terrorist activities. All right. G20 leaders in New York Declaration clearly condemns terrorism in its all forms and manifestations. Good terrorism, bad terrorism. You know this debate? Good terrorism, this is a debate which is given by none other than Pakistan. Okay. They say that the Taliban in Afghanistan is a good terrorism. They are fighting for their own rights. Then there is one wing of Taliban in Pakistan as well. They say, no, you are bad terrorist. They are good, you are bad. So they are striking down on bad, promoting the good. However, now good is also giving them ample retaliations. So we, India, we always support that terrorism is terrorism either in any form. Declaration supports FATF efforts to enhance global asset recovery networks and recovery in criminal proceeds. By the way, you know FATF role, purpose, Pakistan putting in grey list, then blacklist, then again grey list, and now recently taken out from grey list. You know what I am speaking right now? Pakistan is out from grey list. अब ये इंडिया के लिए प्रॉब्लम है. क्यों? हाँ, अब ग्रे लिस्ट से बाहर कर दिया. पहले ग्रे लिस्ट में डाला था. दिस स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम 2016 ऑनवर्ड्स. ग्रे लिस्ट में डाला, 2-3 साल रखा, नहीं सुधरे. ब्लैक लिस्ट में डाला, तुरंत सुधर गए. फिर ग्रे लिस्ट में डाला, अब हटा दिया. FATF. It is now threatening to India. क्यों? Because now they will, earlier they were, even if they wanted to sponsor terrorism for India, they couldn't do that because of FATF sanctions. Economy की हालत वैसे ही बुरी है. They are already not getting any money from outside. So if they continue doing and sponsoring terrorism, they will not get whatever limited bhik they are getting. So as a result, they have stopped doing any activity sponsoring directly. What is the consequence of this to India? Have you seen any major terrorist attack after 2017? Any major, small activities which they will stay forever. But there is no major attack. But now they are out, the vulnerability of terrorist attacks will again rise. Alright? So there is a direct link. यही तो अभी पूछा था कि सबको पता है. फुल फॉर्म फाइनेंशियल एक्शन टास्क फोर्स किसके अंडर बनी है ये? मतलब G7 के थ्रू, अंडर G7 it was formed. The basic aim is to block the financial transactions and financial proceeds of crime. They take actions on all terrorist organizations as well as terrorist individuals who are involved in spreading global terrorism. ठीक है, ये उसको ब्लॉक करने में हेल्प करता है, as putting as a pressure group. It's a intergovernmental organization. यानी सारी गवर्नमेंट्स ने मिलकर इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को फॉर्म करा है और वो G7 नेशंस कंट्रोल करती हैं. अब G7 नेशंस आर द टॉप 7 नेशंस, top most economies of our world globally. Now when top 7 economies are saying that this is a terrorist country, everyone will believe. Okay, so that is why FATF is important. With this, do you remember the debate of declaring some individuals as international terrorists, like Masood Azhar? Have you heard this name, Masood Azhar? This guy is the CEO of Jaish-e-Mohammed. Have you heard about Jaish-e-Mohammed? Jaish-e-Mohammed is an organization that was involved in Mumbai blast, Pathankot and all these things. So they say, Jaish Mohammed, the Masood Azhar is a nice guy. However, the world treats him as terrorist. We want to declare him as an international terrorist. It will be done through United Nations. But China puts a veto. You know why. Alright. Similarly, there was one more guy against which India initiated this same resolution. I am forgetting the name of the resolution, 2245 I guess. There is a number which is for this thing only, like declaring an individual as international terrorist. The name was Sajid Mir. Again China blocked it. Okay. Under international pressure, China agreed to declare Masood Azhar as terrorist, but Sajid Mir was the guy who was responsible, who was controlling everything from Pakistan, the Mumbai attack. He was the guy. We had that proof, we have given those proofs to UN, but China blocks it again. So that is completely different. That is done by United Nations. FATF acts on their own, it's an intergovernmental organization. Coming to the next part, health resilience. अभी भी ठंडा हो रहा है क्या? टेम्परेचर बढ़ा दो. इसका रिमोट नहीं लाए, मतलब रिमोट तो एक ही होगा. Okay. Coming to the next part, guys, health resilience and research. Now, the biggest challenge that we have faced, the world has faced in fact, is the pandemic, the worldwide pandemic, COVID pandemic. We have seen the failure of global health infrastructures everywhere. The conditions were pathetic. America, Canada, they even today have the pathetic healthcare systems. But we have seen the collapse of all of the healthcare systems throughout the developed countries. And then then there is a need, there is a realization that you need to have a collaborative approach to fight future pandemics. Like we all have seen, after COVID, there are multiple viruses that have evolved, all have potential of becoming a global pandemic. Like there is one rising again. There is one more pandemic which is rising again globally. Deaths are happening. Can you tell me which? In fact, there are two. वो तो पुराना हो गया. That's an old model. There is new pro virus that has evolved. Kala Azar nahi, whooping cough. I guess whooping cough is same Kala Azar in Hindi. Whooping cough. Arey, nobody is aware of. Have you heard this? Whooping cough is there, and then bird flu. These two are the next. It is like WHO has anticipated that these two could be the next global pandemic, and whooping cough has 40 times more death rates than COVID-19. Alright, so this is like nothing concerning, but global deaths are rising in whooping coughs, not just in Southeast Asia but globally. So healthcare resilience, the G20 leaders has placed a significant emphasis on healthcare priorities, need to build a resilient healthcare system. It commits to strengthening global health architecture to create resilient, equitable, sustainable, inclusive health systems. WHO is the core of these efforts, we all know that. Goal is to enhance primary health care and health workforce and essential health services to levels better than the pre-pandemic within the next 2 to 3 years. We have to work on a better level that we were at before the pandemic. In addition, addressing the ongoing epidemics like tuberculosis, AIDS, G20 recognizes importance of research on long COVID. What is this long COVID? Like the post-COVID comorbidities. Like are you witnessing rate of heart attacks very surprisingly increasing? चलता फिरता इंसान गिर रहा है, heart attack, डांडिया खेल रहा है, हार्ट अटैक. Like that guy who was playing dandiya was, I guess, 16 years. So that means this year age, and surprisingly there was a heart attack case of 2-year kid. Now why it is happening, very surprisingly, nobody knows. Everyone blame the after effects of COVID. Maybe the vaccines that they have injected us.
उसके बारे में एक आर्टिकल आया था साइड वैक्सीन के जो साइड इफेक्ट्स है ना वो भी बहुत वो देख रहे हैं.
अब technically we developed that vaccine at a very short interval without any those long trials. ठीक है, बना तो ली but we don't know. सबने लगाई है, हम सबने लगाई है, एक्सपोर्ट भी करी है. क्या कोविड किसको नहीं हुआ है? अच्छा, ऐसा कोई है जिसको क्लास में जिसको कोविड नहीं हुआ? दिस इज योर गलत फहमी. टेस्ट करवाया था? कितने टेस्ट करवाए ड्यूरिंग पैंडेमिक? हर बार नेगेटिव आया, तो टेस्ट ढंग से नहीं हुआ. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल यार, कैसे कोविड नहीं आ सकता? अब कौन सा टेस्टिंग, तुम्हें क्या पता लैब में कौन सी टेस्टिंग चल रही है? डाला नेगेटिव. समझ रहे हो, हमारे देश कहीं पर भी इनफैक्ट इतना प्रोफेशनलिज्म कहीं पर भी नहीं होता है. ऑलराइट. अरे गाइस, नोबडी इज अवेयर ऑफ द टाइम. ये किसी भी तरह का ऐसा नहीं है, ये कोमॉर्बिडिटीज जो होती है ना, जैसे किसी को हार्ट की प्रॉब्लम है वो एग्रीवेट हो जाएगी, बीपी की प्रॉब्लम है एग्रीवेट हो जाएगी, डायबिटीज है एग्रीवेट हो जाएगी. दिस इज व्हाट इट इज हैपनिंग. सो व्हाट वी आर राइट नाउ वर्किंग ऑन इज टू टैकल फ्यूचर पैंडेमिक्स. दिस वाज वन ऑफ द एजेंडाज ऑफ G20. मूविंग अहेड, finance track agreements. What are the financial agreements? The biggest issue was comprehensive policy and regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies. In financial domain, this is the biggest challenge globally that we have. Cryptocurrencies, no regulation is there globally. Like every country has some regulations, but at national level, no global regulations are there to control this. So the emergence of global consensus on crypto asset regulation was emphasized. G20 leaders have recognized pressing need for more robust and effective multilateral developmental banks to address high developmental demands globally. India's stack model of digital public infrastructure for financial inclusion is acknowledged as a promising approach. This we have already discussed. G20 leaders' New Delhi declaration underscores monitoring of risk associated with rapid development of crypto asset ecosystem. So we are also working on our end. The globe is also working. Nothing new here. All the points are very general in nature. Nothing to stress on. Then there are some agreements which are more of regional agreements. So India is interested in signing and extending PTA with Mercosur. What is Mercosur? It's a trade agreement of Latin American countries. Free trade agreement like you have EU, European Union. They have a common trade policy. All countries part of EU. Just like EU, you have similar trade agreements all over the world. Like ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, very recently, which was in news, RCEP plus Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Asian countries. Have you are you familiar with what I am talking here? Association of Southeast Asian Nation has signed a free trade agreement among themselves, which is known as RCEP plus. There are 15 countries, 10 Asian countries and 5 other countries. India was also invited into this, but we opted out. Reasons we could have discussed it later on, but you guys can read it, that why we not opted for RCEP. Anyways, coming back to Mercosur. So India and Brazil agreed to work together for expansion of India-Mercosur PTA to promote economic ties. Mercosur is a trading bloc of Latin American countries, include Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay. India-Mercosur PTA came into effect on June 1, 2019, aimed to eliminate custom duties on a limited number of goods agreed between India and the Mercosur bloc. So, just to increase India's export to these nations. Climate financing commitment. The biggest issue that the world is facing, tackling climate change, is climate finance. Everyone wants to tackle climate. Nobody wants to give money. This is the biggest debate. The biggest debate between the global south and the global north in order to form a unified consensus. सबसे ज़्यादा जहाँ पर लड़ाई हो रही है global south, global north की, it is climate change, okay, and climate finance. So, the declaration emphasizes a substantial increase in climate financing, calling for a quantum jump from $1 billion to $1 trillion. Like, have you heard of COP happened this December? Very important. Which COP? 28. Okay, held in UAE. So we'll do that if time permits, but this is one thing which is very important, okay, COP. So we'll talk about climate financing in detail in COP 28. Coming to some more facts related to G20, and this is almost the end. India's cultural showcase, like we have inaugurated Bharat Mandapam. Bharat Mandapam is what we have transformed our Pragati Maidan, and we have formed this convention center for all such conferences that India will host in future. So whether it be trade fair, whether it be auto expo, your textile, we recently hosted geotextile in Bharat Mandapam. It is an initiative to promote textile sector in India. Then there was one famous statue that was installed there of Lord Nataraja, which belongs to the Chola style. It is the same statue where, in front of which you have seen Narendra Modi ji meeting everyone. Your Konark Chakra and Odisha Sun Temple and image of Nalanda universities were also used as backdrop. So these, both of them will become important for your prelims 23. Okay. Tanjavur paintings and Dhokra art. Read about them. All of them will become again important. Then brass statue of Lord Buddha sitting under Bodhi tree. Diverse musical heritage, Hindustani folk, Carnatic and devotional music was also played there. The transition of presidency, we have handed over the baton of G20 to Brazil. I have discussed this in the introduction. And then the last one important, this thing that has signed in G20 was bilateral meeting with US. 2023 was very important for India-US relation. So 2-3 bilateral relations that you have to read very thoroughly for this year is one, India-US, then India-France, India-Russia. All developments among these you have to take, and then there are all these three is where we have grown very progressively. Bilateral relations have grown progressively. There are some countries with which we have deteriorated our relation, and one such relation I will probably cover in the class, which was highlighted all throughout 23. It was India-Canadian relation. Okay, so you know that the Khalistani issue, and which is still going on. Like just a week back, Canada has further taken this thing. They have reduced Indian staff in working in embassies all over India. So which is a setback. So India-US relation, very quickly we will work on semiconductors. I want you to read about Chip 4 Alliance. What is Chip 4 Alliance? Can anyone tell me? It is something not directly linked with India. Do you know the world is fighting a war right now? What war? Chip war. This war is to get the resources which is required for making chips. Now what chips I am talking about, guys? Silicon chips, all those processing chips which is required in every device these days, be it camera, TV, automobile, phone, computer, laptop, battery, whatever electronic that you can think of has a chip. So you need solar panels, so you need these chips. There is a tremendous research going on in this chip sector. The fight is to make advanced chips, making it smaller, more stronger, faster. Alright, so Chip 4 Alliance is an American driven alliance. Where in the world we have the largest chip availability? Taiwan. 60-65% of the global chips are manufactured by Taiwan. Exactly. सिर्फ यही रीजन नहीं है, और भी रीजन है, और तभी अमेरिका बचा रहा है. ठीक है. सो चिप 4 अलायंस इंक्लूड्स इंडिया, अमेरिका, ताइवान, चाइना एंड वन मोर कंट्री, साउथ कोरिया. नो, नॉट चाइना, अमेरिका, ताइवान, साउथ कोरिया एंड वन मोर कंट्री, जापान. ठीक है. सो सेमीकंडक्टर्स, टेलीकॉम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. इंडिया सपोर्ट्स द यूएस रिप एंड रिप्लेस प्रोजेक्ट अलाइनिंग विद रिमूवल ऑफ चाइनीज टेलीकॉम इक्विपमेंट. डू यू नो दैट अमेरिका इज वेरी एग्रेसिवली वर्किंग अगेंस्ट चाइना एंड स्पेशली देयर टेलीकॉम सेक्टर. हवाई उसका तो अलग गेम है. सी, even if Taiwan is exporting maximum chips, but the equipments are still China is leading. Most of our phones have Chinese something, despite it is written made in India. ये मत सोचना है if it has a made in India stamp, whatever, even if it is completely manufactured in India, there are many parts that come from China. And do you know there is something known as microdots? Dots. कोई कंप्यूटर इंजीनियर नहीं है हमारे बीच? Nobody? Okay, microdots are nothing but some dots which is there in your device. It was placed at the time of assembly of the product, and that was in a dormant stage. It was not active. The China can activate that dot anytime they feel like, and when this happen, that dot, your device will transfer whatever data they want to China. ओ इसकी आंख, ये हो रहा है मेरे दोस्त. And this is why what US is doing is rip and replace project. Chinese hardware is not just in your regular communication device. It has entered in almost every defense equipments these days. Don't you think defense equipments will require many chips? So what if America is building one, let's say, ballistic missile system, it has a chip transported by China, और चाइना ऐसी चिप को डायरेक्टली एक्सपोर्ट करेगा यूएस को. वो कोई ऐसी यूरोपियन एजेंसी में जाकर वहां पर मैन्युफैक्चर करेगा, वहां पर कोई बंदा भेजेगा और वो बंदा वहां से कोई कंपनी डील करेगी अमेरिका के साथ, तो दिखेगा क्या, अमेरिका ने यूरोप की किसी कंपनी के साथ डील करी, बट अल्टीमेटली दिस इज डूइंग एंड मे बी इन फ्यूचर दे विल कंट्रोल दिस. वॉर्स कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड लाइक दिस. दिस इज ऑल्सो हैपनिंग.
इस माइक्रोडॉट से कंट्रोल भी कर सकते हैं तो कनेक्शन में.
एवरीथिंग इज कोडिंग ना. अब आपकी एप्स व्हाट्सएप अपडेट कैसे हो जाता है? वहीं से बैठे बैठे अमेरिका से ही हो जाता है, या यहां पर आता है कोई भाई ला फोन दे दे अपडेट कर दूं. समझ रहे हो? सो एवरीथिंग दीज डेज इज कोडिंग. आने वाले टाइम में तो एआई कर देगा, ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाएगा ये सब. आपने ऑलरेडी वो कोड डाल दिया है, वो कोड किसी को पता नहीं है. Coming to next part, India-US reaffirmed their commitment to deepen and diversify the India-US major defense partnership and expanded the cooperation in domains such as space and artificial intelligence. AI. AI, if you remember, 2023 was the year where Narendra Modi has visited America as a special invitee, on a special invitation. Yes or no? And even in that cooperation, there are many things which were signed, and out of that there was one AI alliance. AI stands for artificial intelligence, also stands for America and India. Okay, so AI is the future. This is what they branded. AI is the future. They meant artificial intelligence and America and India. Then a very important negotiations which is still going on, and most probably it will go in favor of India. I am talking about GEF 414 jet engines. This is a very sophisticated jet engine. Like in an airplane, the most important part is the engine. Yes or no? So if this India could get with the technology, we can manufacture our own planes. All these commercial planes that you guys fly in, everything is bought from outside, largely from 2-3 companies only. Boeing, Airbus, these are some companies which give us all these. So whatever airline you are flying, it is just the wallpaper and the logo outside. So US has recently completed the notification process of commercial agreements between General Electric Aerospace and HAL to manufacture these jet engines in India. Advantage: manufactured in India, jobs will be created in India, plus technology transfer. They will give us the technology. So we will learn and we will adapt, and we can reuse those technologies in future engines. So this agreement marks a significant step in defense cooperation with US and India, highlighting India's commitment to enhancing its domestic defense manufacturing capabilities. So this was bilateral. Alright, so largely we have covered every aspect of G20. A very quick question from G20 which was asked. Read it carefully and then answer. 2020 में पूछा गया था ये question. Don't give your answers, I will conduct a live poll. Okay, done. How many for A, B, C, D? Answer is A.